Picture a single point of orange light in a vast black landscape. 1,000,000 years ago, somewhere in Africa, a small group huddles around it. Beyond the circle of light, the dark is full of teeth. Inside it, faces glow. Someone reaches in and turns a piece of meat. The smell changes, softens, and for the first time, a creature that looks almost like you is not eating its food the way every other animal on the planet eats. Raw, cold, as it comes. It is cooking. We tell this story as a nice milestone. Humans learned to make fire. They got warm. They scared off predators. A handy tool, like the wheel or the spear. But that's not what happened. What happened is that this flame reached inside the bodies of the things gathered around it and started to rebuild them. Their teeth, their guts, their brains, the shape of their days. The fire wasn't a tool these creatures used. It was the thing that turned them into us. So let's ask the real question. Not how did we get fire, but what if we never had? Take that orange light out of the picture entirely. What would you be? You'd think the answer is simple. A colder human, a hungrier human. Same creature, worse conditions. It isn't. Because the strangest truth about fire is that your body is already built around it. You are, right now, an animal that assumes its food will be cooked. And to see why, you have to understand what cooking actually does. Raw food is hard work. A chimpanzee, your close cousin, spends around 6 hours of every single day just chewing. 6 hours. Their food is tough, fibrous, and stingy with energy. So much of what they eat passes through barely used. They have huge jaws, huge teeth, and a long, heavy gut to wring out every last calorie. They are machines built for processing raw material, all day, every day. Now cooking enters the story. Heat does to food what your body would otherwise have to do itself. It breaks tough fibers apart. It unfolds proteins. It turns hard, stubborn calories into soft, easy fuel. A cooked meal hands your body energy that a raw one would have made it fight for. The anthropologist Richard Wrangham built his life's work around this idea. He argued that cooking didn't just make food nicer, it made food richer. It unlocked calories that raw eating left buried. And once an animal is suddenly flooded with more energy for less effort, everything about that animal is free to change. And here is where it stops being a fun fact and becomes the spine of who you are. Because in the body, energy is a budget. And the most expensive organ you own is the one you're using to follow this sentence. Your brain. It is a tiny fraction of your weight, but burns around 1/5 of your energy, all day, even while you sleep. A brain that big should be impossible to afford. Two scientists, Leslie Aiello and Peter Wheeler, noticed something elegant about this. As our ancestors' brains grew larger and hungrier, their guts grew smaller. One expensive organ shrank as the other expanded. It's as if the body, given a new flood of easy energy from cooked food, quietly moved the budget, taking it away from the long, costly gut it no longer needed and spending it on the brain. Cooked food meant a smaller gut could survive. A smaller gut freed up energy. That freed energy could feed a bigger brain. And a bigger brain is the thing reading these words. Look at the fossil record and you can almost watch it happen. As our ancestors moved into the era of Homo erectus, the teeth get smaller, the jaws get lighter, the gut shrinks, the brain swells. This is not the body of an animal that eats raw. This is the body of an animal that has handed half its digestion to a fire. So now go back and take the fire away. Without it, there's no flood of easy calories, no shrinking gut, no budget to spend on a giant greedy brain. You'd be left with the body that raw food demands. Massive jaws, heavy teeth, a long gut, and a brain kept small because nothing could afford to feed a big one. You wouldn't be a cold, hungry version of yourself. You wouldn't be yourself at all. You'd be something else entirely, and you'd be spending a third of your waking life just chewing. But the fire didn't only reshape the body, it did something to time. Before fire, the day ended when the sun did. Darkness meant danger, stillness, hiding. Fire tore a hole in the night. Suddenly, there were hours that had never existed before. Warm, lit, protected hours after the work of the day was done. And what do you do with brand new hours, sitting in a circle with nowhere to be and nothing to hunt? You talk. An anthropologist named Polly Wisner studied this with remarkable patience. She listened to the conversations of the Juwansi people of the Kalahari, recording what they spoke about by day and what they spoke about by firelight at night. By day, the talk was practical. Work, complaints, plans, the business of survival. But at night, around the flames, the talk transformed. It became stories, myths, tales of people far away, the lives of others, the imagination. The firelight didn't just keep them warm. It opened a space for the things that make a culture, for stories passed down, for a shared imagined world, for the kind of talk that binds strangers into a people. So stack it all up and look what the fire built. It softened your food, so it shrank your gut, so it grew your brain. It stretched your day, so it gave you stories, so it gave you culture. Strip the fire out, and you don't just lose the warmth. You lose the brain that wanders, and the night that taught it to dream. Now, to be fair, scientists still argue about the timing. There's burnt bone and ash in a cave in South Africa from around 1 million years ago, hinting at controlled fire that early. But exactly when our ancestors truly mastered it, and exactly when cooking became a daily habit, is still debated. The dates may shift, but the deeper point holds, written right into your skeleton. Your small teeth, your modest gut, your enormous hungry brain are the body of a creature that expects to be fed by flame. And here is where it turns to you, not your ancestors. You, wherever you're sitting. Look around. You're almost certainly inside a pocket of tamed fire right now. The light you're reading by is fire's grandchild. The warmth in the room, the device in your hand, the cooked food waiting somewhere nearby, all of it descends from that single orange point in the dark. You have never, in your entire life, eaten the way every other animal on Earth eats. You have never truly faced the raw, cold night. You are so deep inside the fire's world that you can't even see its edges anymore. Run your tongue across your own teeth for a second. They're small, almost dainty for an ape. They are too weak to live on raw food, and they've been that way for nearly 2 million years. Because for nearly 2 million years, something else has been doing the hard work of digestion before the food ever reached your mouth. The fire is so much a part of you that it's written into the shape of your smile. So come back to that point of light. The small group huddled around it, turning meat in the dark, 1 million years ago. We thought we were watching humans use a clever new tool. But that's backwards. We weren't watching humans discover fire. We were watching fire finish making humans. Everything you are, the brain that asks, what if? The small jaw, the long bright evenings full of stories, was handed to you by a flame your ancestors learned to keep alive. You didn't tame fire. In a way, fire tamed you. So the next time you sit in a warm, lit room, long after dark, telling a story to someone you love, remember that you're doing the single most human thing there is, and you've been doing it around the same quiet light for 1 million years. The more you learn about being human, the stranger it gets, because after all, we're still the same old ape. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.